Hey YouTube, this is called Mutually Assured or Agreed Destruction, where I pick a topic of the day and bash it for about 5 minutes. Just 1 second, I'm looking over my computer here, and I think I'll borrow this and rotate it with me. It's a plug and play crappy little Logitech that doesn't work no more on its own, so I had to actually use my internal, and it's giving me this crappy looking screen. And yeah, you can actually see with my glasses on that it actually glares quite badly. That's why I actually have it right here. But today's topic is Pokemon fans. I'm not bashing you guys, I actually am a fan myself. You don't see any of that behind me because I'm actually not showing any of it. You can see my TMNT back there, my chain and nunchuck and crap up there that actually represents Michelangelo. Got a couple swords in here, I've got a 360, but no. Today we're gonna bash one of my favorite genres in the world, Pokemon. And the genre I'm actually fully bashing is these creepy little pasta ones. Now, I assure you in no way do I really fracking care about these stupid little creepy pasta ROMs like Gloss Silver and the Mysterioso Black version. Drop my phone. But I've played them, the ROMs of them at least, and I've actually seen another one that was never discussed, nor never found it. So I'm going to give you guys a sneak into what actually ended up I started calling Blood Ruby. And I found a copy discarded on the street, and I never really played it except in this old GBA that I had, one of the first edition ones, and never paid attention to it. I never knew what was wrong with it until I got to the rival, Steven, and I started to notice that things were off. Like, his Pokemon were funky looking. They were all red colored, even though you wouldn't expect like a Beldum or a Metagross to be red. You'd expect to be more of a blue or a silvery color with gold trim nowadays for you Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire players. I don't have a 3DS, I don't care for one. I don't care for Nintendo products. I play ROMs. Which is what we're discussing, is the ROM hacks. But I found this one and it started to catch me as a little bit odd. The regular gameplay was fine until I hit that point, and then it was like, wow, it was really fucked up. First, they weren't just red, their attacks were off named. I gave it a seismic slam, it was called Death Blow. And he would pull out his Metagross, his nickname was Bone Crusher. And then the final credits hit after I beat him. And that's when it got weird. I suppose it was supposed to be like coded that way, but the game was legit. It had the legit sticker on it. It had the legit everything. I took it to a GameStop, showed them my badge and my whole game, and even got a freaking download from them for a free legendary from a friend of mine. Traded perfectly straight through from his leaf green to my ruby. using the RS trade system that he had found on his game and mine. When he traded it over, it was a Gengar. He traded over, it was Gengar that was coming to me, so that I could evolve my Onix into a Steelix. I got the Gengar, and it all of a sudden said, huh? Gengar is evolving. Pokemon fans, we all know Gengar does not have a final evolution. There's no Mega X there, where you could do that in Ruby. No, it actually devolved through trade. It was reverse evolutional. I didn't get it. It actually devolved into a ghastly egg. It was really weird for me. But then my bike, I was in the middle of Moval Town, the little electric gym town, and I stopped and picked up my Mako bike for no reason whatsoever. I rode my acro bike everywhere and figured, why not go explore the freaking sand ruins? So I grabbed my mock bike just to make it through all the way to the back end of those ruins. Halfway there, I got into the desert and I was already at where I needed the mock bike for. And it broke down. It said, your bike has a flat tire, can go no further. I'm in the middle of a sand pit. I drop. Your Pokemon have fainted. One of your Pokemon has died. I had never fainted a Pokemon before. Then things started getting creepier and creepier as I went. My Groudon and my Kyogre both died. Mid-battle, died. They were at full health, and then all of a sudden it said a ghost appears. And Kyogre has a heart attack, and freaking Groudon just dies. And then I ended up in a small chamber for Regice. And I can read Braille. I learned how to do so. Basically, it's just a step-by-step Morse code. It's easy enough to read once you learn how. I was fighting Regice, and he used a move that I had never seen before called Death Beam. Now, if this was some dude's weird joke or something, I don't know. But it slaughtered all my Pokemon. Literally, slaughtered them. And I went in and I saved, and I came back, and they were literally missing body parts, and it was blood. Their animations were slowed. They had taken massive damage, even if they were full health and ready to go. No Nurse Joy would ever heal them again. I actually had to start using the PC all the time to keep them full health. Entering a battle, they lose 50 health per round. And I ran into a couple of different situations where my Pokemon wouldn't attack at all, or I'd find one without any attacks, with a name I could not change, like an off-colored Zigzagoon. Not a shiny, but very off-palette. Completely black with red glowing eyes, and it was named Vampire. I caught this when it sat in the farthest back box of my Pokebox in my PC, in box 12, which I never used. I actually kept it empty for that reason, because he sat in there, and I found out what his ability was. As long as he was in your party was safe. If he was in the PC, your Pokemon would die or be released, and it was really creepy for me. But I'm gonna bash this ROM. I'm actually gonna give it a B rating, because it didn't scare me at all, and the creepypastas I've seen lately haven't done jack. I've seen a lot of them too for Pokemon ROM hacks, like I mentioned earlier, the Poke Black and Lost Silver, but there's also one called Never Ending Night. Ash Gray's evil twin game. Now, this is not a very well-known ROM. You're not going to find it anywhere online. This is one that a friend of mine was working on. Anyway, he decided that he was wanting me to try it out on my computer. Well, I didn't have one at the time, but I had a GBA. So he gave me a file copy of it to store on my email until I had a computer to play it on. And lo and behold, I played it, I tried it, I liked it. It wasn't creepy, it was just weird. And then it hit me at the very beginning of the game when it asks, are you a boy or a girl? It says, oh, you're a boy. So I restarted it and I handed it to a friend of mine who was a female. It said, oh, you're a female. How it knew, I don't know. It must be just like a super glitch or something. Like it would automatically choose right like 98% of the time. How? I don't know. I took it back and it would log me in under me. I'd hand it to her and it would swap to her. I don't know how this was happening. Didn't have an accelerometer in it. It didn't have any swap chips. It was just really weird. Our Pokemon were perfect in sync, but it was running multiple games. And then later on in the same game where I was just playing it outright, I handed her a copy of my Blood Ruby, and it automatically knew who it was. Automatically. It was like flip of the switch. It knew. I connected my Game Shark to it and it blew my Game Shark. I connected it to the power and it no longer charged. Like I had the charging back to it. It would no longer charge as long as the game was in it. That was odd for me, you know. The final bit of information that I actually got out of it was my badges. Every time I won one, I lost a piece of my clothing in my card. My card actually had a chip missing out of it. My money never got up, never went down, so I was like buying everything for free. But each time I bought something, a chip would go missing out of my card. And when your card was gone, the game deleted itself and restarted as a fresh game, allowing you to play it endlessly as long as you didn't buy, catch, or do anything. Then, like a week after I beat it the first time, I noticed that there was droplets of blood inside the cartridge. So I took it apart and cleaned off the blood and, put it back together flawlessly, and I played it all the way through with no problems. No chips, money worked, battery worked, everything was fine. But it was still doing that glitch. I'd hand it to someone else to play and it would automatically swap to their account. No matter what I did, I could not get rid of this. So what I finally did was I went and purchased a brand new copy of Ruby Edition for the Game Boy Advance. Big mistake. Apparently it wasn't the game that was doing this, it was the Game Boy that had belonged to a friend of mine, and it was weird. Like, he had a Game Boy Advance SP, I had a Game Boy Advance Frost White. It didn't work. I don't know why, but I plugged it into his, and his screen would light up bright white and then go black. And he actually fell flat forward. I caught him and he was like, whoa. We never knew what happened. A few years later, he actually dies. Like, he's dead and gone now, but it was from natural causes. But I've always wondered about that game. I looked all over for it where I'm at now, and I still can't find it. And then I remembered it got buried with them. So I went online, started looking for a new one, never found it. But, like I said, I don't believe in this shit. I never have. I just think it was a hoax. Like, major hoax that happened to me. It was a joke. Somebody was screwing with me or with my cartridge while I wasn't looking. But then I asked my friend about that ROM he had made. Pokemon Ash's Evil Twin. I played it. It was really freaking fun. It wasn't creepypasta-ish ROM. It was actually just you played as Jesse of Team Rocket. That was it. You were Jesse of Team Rocket. You didn't have a choice of boy or girl. Nothing. You didn't have any of that. Except you were stuck with coughing and wheezing. And Ekans and Arbok and Meowth. That was the only Pokemon you could use throughout the entire game. No Pokemon ever showed up. Nothing ever happened. You could get them all the way up to level 100. They didn't evolve. I couldn't use a Moonstone to evolve Meowth. I couldn't do anything. I went to the Pokemon League. I had all the badges. I had all the creds and everything. Made it all the way to the Pokemon League, and bam. That's when he says, if you make it to the Pokemon League, you're in for a surprise. All of a sudden, I've got this PC icon popping up on the screen. And it's like with an A button attached. So I hit the A button on my controller, and it said, congratulations, you've made it this far. We'll wait until you get back to the headquarters to congratulate you. It was a message that he had coded into the game if anyone made it. He never sold this thing. He never got rid of the copies. He never gave them out. I was the only one to receive one. I made it to the headquarters of Team Magma. I didn't go in there for the Master Ball the first time, and I never battled them after that. To make sure to go after Kyogre or something, I just skipped straight over Pseudopolis and went straight for the Indigo Plateau. Or the Hoenn Plateau, actually. I don't remember the city name right offhand. But I went up and got into the Pokemon League. Went back. That's when it hit me. I hadn't caught anything. I hadn't done anything because I couldn't. No money was ever given to me. I never earned or lost money, and no chips were ever taken out. I walk in and bam. Freaking Mewtwo, Mew, and Celebi waiting for me. And 3 Master Balls in front of each. So I was like, okay, so he's giving me this big grand prize for making it all this way without quitting. Okay, I'm 5 hours into the game and I've already beaten it. Come on, people. He decided to not tell me about this. But if I caught any of them, the game would erase itself. And therefore it would keep going on. Over and over and over again, so you could never win. I said screw it. I went straight to the Elite Four. I did everything I had to. Never went into the little place. Didn't have to. He had actually moved things out of the way so I could get into and out of the cities without ever having any dive or waterfall. And I beat the Elite Four and I hit the end screen. The kill screen, as most of you will call it. And I run into a Missing No number 3. Missing No 3. Better known to most of you as M2. Which is actually just Mewtwo. Or Mew 3 as some of you would call it because of how it looked. It was really weird. because I'd never run into that before. I got to the kill screen, and it showed my trainer card all marred up and twisted and bent and wrangled and mangled and all kinds of crap. And all you see is this little ghost as soon as all that stops. And it pops open, like the final card rolls over. It shows all my stats at the end. My icon for my character is Jessie, but she has 2 wings and a pair of horns, and she's missing a leg. That was very, odd to me. So I deleted it, and I started watching the movie, and I thought about it. Okay, so I'll just email him, find out what the heck he did. Come to find out, it wasn't him that did anything to that. I was never intended to receive a copy. He had told me he might send me a copy, but I never was meant to receive one. He was actually going to send it to his little brother as a joke. Because his little brother's obsessed with Team Rocket, apparently. I never understood that. But that's just me. The pros and cons of ROM hacks and the pastas for Pokemon games and ROMs is not only are they false, fake, and really, really stupid, but to put something out there that's geared towards scaring someone on purpose for your own entertainment is wrong. Okay? Questions and comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button and to 1-up me on G+ for Carbon Gamer. I'm out.